Hello, beautiful dames. Today we are going to be doing a core exercise for beginners. So it's great for anybody, all ages. We're going to go ahead and get started laying on our back. We're going to hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. Squeeze the knees in nice and tight. Just kind of gently rock from side to side. Massage that sacrum on the floor. And then we're going to go ahead and take those knees. We're going to stack them on top of our hips. We're going to bring our shins parallel to the floor. Draw the low back into the mat. Now, option to take your hands by your sides here if you're already feeling that core engage. But if you'd like a little more, you're going to place your hands on your thighs and you're going to energetically push your hands into your thighs and your thighs back into your hands. You should feel that core engagement. And if you don't, maybe push a little harder. Try to drive that belly button back towards the spine. Find nice deep breaths here. And exhale, push a little bit harder. Nice. Find that core engagement. Keep those toes flexed up towards the sky. One more deep breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to plant the feet down onto the floor. We're going to bring the heels nice and close to the glutes. We're going to start to peel our low back off of the mat and come into a bridge pose. Now my knees are drawing towards each other. I'm lifting my hips. I'm squeezing my booty, but most importantly, I'm gauging that core. I'm going to reach my arms up overhead. Now as I exhale, I'm going to lower my booty all the way back down. I'm going to lift my knees back up and find that core engagement. Exhale, push into the thighs. Beautiful. Let's do that again. Drop the heels down, lift the hips up, draw those inner thighs towards each other. They don't have to touch. They just have to be talking to each other. Lift those arms up overhead. Draw that belly button in and then lower the low back all the way down. Come back into that core engagement. Hands on the thighs. Push the knees away. Squeeze that belly button in towards the spine. Again, drop the feet down. Start to lift the hips, lift the arms up. Exhale, slowly melt yourself all the way down. Lift the knees, lift the shins, and push. Keep moving through this here. Inhale, lift the hips, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, gently melt yourself down, hands down onto the thighs, and squeeze here. Nice job. One more time. Reach up, lift up. Exhale, bring the hands onto the thighs, push into the thighs, ignite that core. Now keep that core engagement here. Hands are going to go out like a T, and we're just going to gently drop the knees towards the right, but hover. Now when you start to feel like your low back is going to have a hard time with this, you're going to pull your knees all the way back to center, and then gently drop them over to the left. And use your core to pull them all the way back to center. So I'm not really using my arms here. I'm engaging that core like we were earlier to help pull the knees back through center and to the opposite side. Nice gentle twists here. Keep it going. Try to keep those knees stacked on top of the hips. That's going to add a little bit more of a change here. Maybe you switch your gaze. As the knees go left, your gaze goes right. And as the knees go towards the right, your gaze goes towards the left. Beautiful. One more time. Knees go left, gaze goes right. Use that core. Draw the knees back to center. And that's it. We're going to come back into the center. Keep those knees stacked on top of the hips. We're keeping that core engaged for the entire class. Reach your arms up towards the sky. Palms up towards the sky if you'd like, or just reach your fingertips. We're going to extend the right leg out nice and long and then reach the left arm up overhead. Now, if this is too much, you can take your hands down by your side and just extend one leg and then the other. Otherwise, we're going to extend opposite hand, opposite leg, bring it back to center, and switch it out. This exercise is called dead bug, even though I think it's more of like a dying bug because we're moving. One leg out, opposite arm reaches up overhead, moving through. Breathe here. Keep that low back glued to the mat like we were earlier. Your low back should always be nice and gently planted, pushing down. Use that core to keep that tightness of that back onto the mat. Nice job. Breathe here. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're coming back to that glute bridge to core engagement. Lift the hips, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, lower all the way down. Hands on the thighs, push away. Inhale to reach up, drop the heels, reach up, dig into those heels, hips up nice and high. Lower the hips down, hands come down, find that core engagement. We're moving through this, using our core, using not only our front of our core, but the sides of our core, the back of our core. Your core actually goes all the way around your midsection of your body. It's not just that six pack that we always think about. It's actually the entire trunk of the body. Nice job. A couple more here. Strengthening that core. Strengthening a little bit of the glutes here as we rise up. And then let's come back through center. Place the hands on the thighs and hold. Hands go out like a T. Let's come back to those twists. Maybe you notice this time that you get a little bit deeper in your twist, but again, being very cautious of that low back. You want to move nice and slow here so that you don't upset your low back. Nice, gentle twists. Try to hover those knees. And again, those knees do not have to come very far down towards the ground as long as they're nice and slow and controlled movements. Beautiful. One more each side. To the left and to the right. Nice. Let's come back to center. Stack those knees on top of the hips. Reach those arms up. Let's come back to our dying bug. Left leg goes out long, right arm reaches up, and we're going to switch it out. My low back is glued to the mat. If you think about your spine, you have your rib cage and you have your hips. And in between your rib cage and your hips, all you have is your lumbar vertebrae. And that's not a lot to hold you completely upright. So you really need a nice strong trunk to help support that low back. Otherwise, that lumbar spine is going to be doing all the work. And that's where we get things like herniated discs, low back pain, hip pain, shoulder pain. It's all related to each other. So we really want to have that nice, strong core here to help support that low back. Let's go one more each side, and then let's hug the knees into the chest. Take a little bit of a break, and we're going to go ahead and lower the feet down onto the ground. We're going to take our right ankle and cross it on top of our left knee. Yes, left knee. We're going to take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers. My left elbow is going to rise up for that right knee. But the one thing I want to make sure is that you're not just dragging your elbow across your body, you're actually peeling your left shoulder off the mat and driving from the left shoulder, not the left elbow. We're just kind of maybe one day hoping that we can get that left elbow nice and close toward that knee using our core here. So now if I'm just using my elbow, I'm not really getting a workout in. I want to lift my chest away from the floor and bring that elbow towards the knee. Again, push that low back into the mat here and really crunch it over nice and slow and controlled. With the core, it's important that our movements are very deliberate. It's not like a squat or something like that where we're definitely getting the work in no matter what. You really have to make sure that you're engaging the core. Squeeze those muscles as if you're bracing yourself for something. Nice job. For 3, last 2, and 1. Reach it up. Nice job. Lay it all the way back down. And let's go ahead. We're going to bring our heels nice and close towards our towards our hips. And our fingertips are just going to reach for our heels. So option to keep your low back kind of on, or your upper back on the mat and just kind of slide from side to side. And if you really want to challenge yourself, you're going to lift your chest and shoulders off of the mat and you're going to touch for those ankles. So pulling that belly button down, push that low back into the mat. Notice how I was able to get a little bit higher than if I'm not engaging my spine. So reach here, push that low back down into the mat, engage that quad, that transverse abdominis muscle that we need here. Breathe. Every exhale, reach for those ankles. Beautiful. We're not here for much longer. Feel this a little bit more in your obliques, in the side of your abs. For 3, last 2, 1 more each side, and then lay it all the way back down. This time we're going to take that left ankle on top of the right knee, interlace the fingers behind the head. Now here I'm not using my hands to hold my head and pull it forward. I'm just using them to support my neck if needed. We're going to take that right elbow using our right shoulder. We're going to lift up and over. Nice. So we're driving through the shoulder, even though that elbow is reaching for the knee, so that we can use our core and really peel our upper back off of the mat. That's what we want here. We want that whole shoulder to come off of the floor. I'm not just using my elbow here. That's not going to do very much work. So let's make sure that we use what we're doing. We're not wasting any time here. Getting nice, strong movements. Quantity or quality over quantity. Nice job. Keep breathing here. Every exhale, lift up for 3. Last 2. And 1. Lift it up and lower all the way back down. This time we're going to bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees out nice and wide. We're going to take the hands together, interlace the fingers, release the pointers and the thumb as if you're making a Charlie's Angels fist. Take a nice deep breath in. On the exhale, we're going to lift forward. Now, we don't have to rise all the way up. If you'd like to rise all the way up, you can, but we're just engaging the core, lifting the chest and shoulders off of the mat and reaching for our toes, it feels like. Nice. Reach it forward and lower back down. Now, if you want to challenge yourself, off of the floor and reach for those feet. But this is a beginner class, so we're going to take it one and build our way up to those things. Doing it nice and safely, making sure that we're not injuring ourselves, because then we can't come back and try again the next day. Let's keep moving through this for 3. Last 2. And 1. Reach it up and hold here. Draw that belly in. And let's lay all the way down onto the mat. Interlace the hands behind the back. And we're coming back for those 1 leg crunches. So we're going to cross the right ankle on top of the left thigh and then bring that left shoulder up and down, over, and relax the body down. Nice. Breathe. Exhale as you rise up. Inhale as you lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Breathing here. Last 5. Is your core engaging? Is your elbow staying out of your peripheral vision? That's a really great way to tell where you're at. Beautiful. Last 3. Last 2. And 1. Beautiful. Let's lay it back down. Bring that right foot down to join the left. Heels towards the glutes. And we're going to come back into those heel touches. So we're going to lift the chest and shoulders away from the floor, and we're just going to reach for those heels. Now, maybe this time you try to bring those heels a little farther away from you so that you have a little bit further to reach for those ankles. That'll engage that core a little bit more, force you to round up a little bit more. Use that core, push that low back down into the mat. You got this. Breathe here. Nice deep breaths. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way back down. Left ankle on top of that right thigh. And let's head into our crunches. We're bringing that shoulder towards the knee. Peel it off the mat. Lift up and lower. Rise up and down. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Really make sure that you can't see that right elbow out of your peripheral vision. If you can, you're going to move your elbow back and push your shoulder forward and rise up. Beautiful. Last 5. Make sure that you're nice and supported on that neck. Your chin's not tucked tightly to your chest. There's space for, like, say, an apple in between your chest and your chin. Nice job. Last one. Here we go. Reach up and lower down. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. And we're coming for our butterfly crunches. So find your Charlie's Angel stance. And when you're ready, let's reach for those toes on the exhale. Inhale, lower down, reach the fingertips up. Exhale, rise up and lower. This is a tiny little move, but it's a big one. Feeling the entire core here. Reach up. Again, think about pulling the belly button up and in. Nice deep breaths. Engaging that core as you lift. Beautiful. We're not here for much longer. Last 5. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. And 1, and hold here. Reach up, reach up, reach up. Maybe lift those feet off the floor. Nice job. Let's go ahead. We're going to roll it onto our belly. And let's take a little stretch before we get into our plank series. So drop the belly down, shine the chest through the shoulders, feel that nice juicy stretch through the front of the core. We worked so hard to get here. All right, let's go. We're gonna head into our plank. So now options, if you wanna be on the hands, it's gonna be a little bit more of your shoulders. If you drop down onto your elbows, your forearms, you're gonna get a little bit more into your core. So I always like to be on the forearms, but that's totally up to you. If it bothers your shoulders, you can always come up onto your hands. And if it bothers your wrist, come down onto your elbows. Hands can be apart or come into a fist. Fist will be a little bit easier, but having your hands like this will actually help proper shoulder placement. So let's go ahead and find whatever plank that you'd like. We're gonna stay here on our knees because this is a beginner class. So we're gonna tuck our tailbone under. Now, option to keep the feet on the floor or challenge yourself and lift your feet off the ground. Feet on the floor is gonna be a little bit easier for the knees. You'll engage the kneecaps if you lift your feet off the floor. My tailbone is tucked slightly and I'm gazing down at the floor. Now, really think about bringing your chest towards the ground and then maybe lifting your booty up a little bit and pull your belly away from the floor. Think about if someone was gonna come and just lightly kick your stomach. You wanna brace for that, right? Someone's gonna try to tickle you. You're bracing for that. Let's take another nice deep breath in, and on the exhale, we're going to drop the belly and gaze it forward. Find another deep breath. And when you're ready, we're going to head into that again. Bend the knees, lift up, round up, find that plank position, then bring the chest towards the floor. Yes, nice job. Tuck that tailbone really round, brace that belly, brace for it. You got this. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's come all the way up onto all fours. We're gonna come into a modified side plank. So what this is gonna look like is your left hand is gonna plant or your right hand, depending on how you're looking at me. And your standing knee, whichever one is the bottom knee, your foot's gonna be perpendicular. So you're gonna kind of come up, reach the top arm up. Now, option to stay here in this side plank, or we're gonna reach that right leg nice and high. Extend the right fingertips overhead, and on the exhale, we're gonna bring that knee towards the elbow. Inhale to lengthen, exhale, crunch it in. Now, it doesn't matter how close that knee gets to the elbow. Notice how I'm not forcing it. I'm not rounding forward. I'm keeping my body open, and I'm just crunching towards the side of my body. Lift up and down. You wanna feel this in your obliques here. Nice deep breaths. Reach and then crunch it in. Really try to bring that elbow towards the knee without rounding that back. Nice job. Last 5, 4. You know, at the end of this, we're gonna have a nice big hold. So let's go and get it. We're gonna reach it up and then hold here. Crunch, 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 crunch. Beautiful. Let's come down onto our booty. And we're gonna come in for a modified boat pose. So boat pose in yoga is sitting on the sit bones and lifting the feet up, bringing the arms up. Today we're going to keep the hands behind us. Fingertips can point towards the booty, or if it feels better to have them point directly behind you, that's fine. Wherever you're at, you're pushing your chest forward. You're not rounding. Your shoulders are not by your ears. You're not uncomfortable. Chest forward. Lift through the spine here. Now, we're going to take our toes and place them on the floor. So try to bring your knees in towards your chest. Lift one foot, followed by the other. Tiny baby toe taps. The important thing here is that my sit bones are on the ground. I'm not rounding onto my tailbone. I'm keeping everything lifted. I'm keeping my belly towards my thighs. Find some nice deep breaths here. Tap it down and lift. Nice job. Last 5. Can you shine that chest forward a little bit more? Notice where those shoulders are. Are they by the ears? Pull them down the back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Last 2, each side. You got this. And 1. Beautiful. We're going to come into our side plank on the other side. So one hand plants down. Make sure that wrist is stacked right on top of the shoulder. Reach that other arm up. Lift the leg. Extend. And then crunch. Extend, and then bring it in. Reach it forward and crunch. Now again, notice that I'm not rounding forward here. I'm keeping my body lengthened and I'm just reaching my elbow for my knee. They don't touch. I'm not forcing them to. I'm just finding nice deep breaths and I'm engaging my side core. I'm feeling the crunch here as I bring my elbow towards my knee. For 5, nice strong leg. You got this. Last 3, Last two, and you know we're coming in for that hold, 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 hold. Beautiful. Let's come all the way back into our plank pose, but this time we're gonna do it a little differently. So this time what we're gonna do is we're gonna come down onto our belly, and we're gonna bring our elbows in front of our shoulders. Ground down into the hands. Now we're gonna tuck the toes under. We're gonna keep the knees on the floor. That's a very important part of this. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna lift our belly and our hips away from the floor. Now, if your elbows are directly under your shoulders, you're not gonna be doing this properly. You need to slide those elbows forward and create a little tension. Now, it's almost like I'm trying to squeeze the mat together with my elbows and my knees, rounding through the spine here. Inhale, lower gaze forward. Exhale, let's find that again. Lift the hips up. Your voice should be kind of shaking like mine. Round through that spine. Inhale, lower, lengthen, shine the chest through. Exhale, push down, lift the hips up, squeeze, round through that spine. Can you round through the shoulder blades? Tuck the chin to the chest. Inhale, lower, one last time. Round the spine, hug it in, lift up. Hold here. And lower all the way down. Beautiful. Let's come back into our side plank. This time we have a little bit of a different option. Now we were doing our crunches before. Option here, we're going to take the hand behind the head and we're going to crunch it down and lift it up. However, if you would like to try this on your toes, please feel free to go there. We can also keep that right leg lifted. If you'd like, we're going to lower the elbow and lift it up. Lower and lift. Engage that core here. Nice job. Now notice my whole shoulder is moving, not just my elbow. I can't see my elbow out of my peripheral vision. We're crunching it out here. Nice job. Last three. Last two. Last one. Beautiful. Let's come back into our boat pose. And this time we're going to do it a little differently. So this time, we're going to go ahead and keep the toes on the floor for starts. Make sure the knees are close to the thighs. Nope, just kidding. Can't have that happen. You're going to have your thighs close to your belly. You're going to pull the shoulder blades together and shine your chest through the shoulders. Lift the toes off of the floor. Now, it's okay here if you kind of round backwards, but try to sit on those sit bones. Even if your toes just barely come off the floor, squeeze right here. Try to get your belly towards your thighs. Try to act like you're trying to bring your knees in towards your chest. Nice job. We're going to lift one foot up nice and high and lower. Left, down, right, up. You got this. We're almost done, guys. Feeling that burn in the core. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. We're going to come into our modified side plank on the other side and come into our crunches. Hands behind the head. Reach the elbow up towards the sky. Keep that elbow in your peripheral vision. Nice, slow, and controlled. Lower down. And lift up. Lower and lift. Try to keep that wrist right underneath that top shoulder. Everything is in line with each other. Lower and lift. Breathe on the lowering. Inhale on the rise up. You got this. Last 5. Keep breathing here. Nice strong core. Try not to round too far forward. You're just twisting the torso. Last 1. Nice job. Let's go ahead and find a nice stretch after one last plank hold. So what we're going to do, hands are going to be underneath, or elbows are going to be underneath the shoulders. Hands are going to find that number 11, or the fists are going to come together. Now we've been doing this on our knees, which is totally okay. You can stay here. Try to keep those hips kind of low to the ground though. Tuck the tailbone under. Not too low. Nice and in line with your shoulders. And when you're ready, maybe you try to tuck the toes under and see how long you can hold it here. This is it. This is the last thing that we have to do, guys. You got it. Bring that chest towards the floor. Pull that belly up and up away from the ground for 3. Last 2. And 1. Lower the belly down. Hands underneath the shoulders. Reach the chest forward. And gaze over that right shoulder. And then over the left. Beautiful. Nice job. You guys did great today. My name is Valerie. Thanks for joining.